Today we are going to discuss the topic torsional vibration. So these are the table of contents: torsional vibration, single rotor system, two rotor, torsional equivalent shaft, three rotor system, geared system. Then problem and explanation. Finally, vibration measurement using vibrometer or seismometer, accelerometer, and vibration excitators. So when coming to torsional vibration, uh, um, first we will go to introduction. Means when particles of shaft move in a circle about the axis of shaft, that is when the shaft twisting and untwisting, so that kind of vibration is called torsional. In the same kind, twisting, like that, means the vibration produced due to twisting or untwisting of a body is called torsional vibration. So next we are moving to natural frequency of free torsional vibration, that is undamped vibration. So here consider a shaft with a negligible mass with one end fixed and other end carrying a disc subjected to angular displacement theta as shown figure. So you can see a shaft here of diameter d, length L, and at the other end of the shaft means a disc is fixed and one end is fixed to the foundation, and here we are applying a small angular displacement, that is theta. So you can see here it is given theta marked here from the position, means from the mean position it is displaced through an amount theta. Clear? So when we are twisting the shaft through a distance theta from the mean position, what will happen? When we are twisting the shaft in clockwise direction through an angle theta, when we are removing that twisting, means when we are removing that applied torque, what happened? It will untwist. So total it will move theta in clockwise direction, theta in counterclockwise direction. Clear? So here the different terms given are that theta angular displacement of shaft from mean position in radians, m mass of the disk in kilogram, I mass moment of inertia of disk is given by mk square, and ks radius of gyration, and q torsional stiffness of shaft. These are the different terms given. Okay, so moving to next slide. Here the different forces acting we are considering first. So similar to ma, here instead of mi, that is moment of inertia, instead of a theta double dot, so I theta double dot, which means I into d square theta by dt square. So similar to the application of spring, similar to a concept of spring, when we are applying a force, what will happen? There will develop a restoring force, and here it is given stiffness of the shaft as q and the displacement is theta. So the restoring force will be like spring kx. Spring we are giving kx, like here q into theta. So according to D'Alembert's principle, given applied force and restoring force, the net effect will be 0. So I theta double dot plus q theta equal to 0. So theta double dot plus q by I into theta equal to 0. So the fundamental equation of SHM, what is the fundamental equation? X double dot plus omega x square x equal to 0. And if you are comparing these, we are getting omega square equal to these two equations. If you are comparing, we are getting omega square equal to q by L. Means equation is this equation, that is theta double dot plus q by L into theta equal to 0, and x double dot plus omega square x equal to 0. So omega square equal to q by I, or omega equal to root of q by I. So here first we are finding here time period. Time period means 2 pi by omega. That is same concept. Time equal to distance by velocity. So 2 pi omega, and 2 pi into, what will happen? 2 pi into, here already we have got omega equal to root of q by I. So it is coming in the denominator. So when it is coming to numerator, 2 pi into root of I by q. So once we get omega, or once we get time period, what is frequency? In inverse of time period is frequency. So 1 by tp, so 1 by 2 pi into root of q by I. So here you can note the similarity here. When we are coming to longitudinal and transverse motion, what is the equation? Fn equal to 1 by 2 pi into root of k by m. Here 1 by 2 pi into root of q by e. So here we are comparing these two. You can see q means torsional stiffness. Here k means longitudinal stiffness or transverse stiffness. And here I is mass moment of inertia, similar to m, mass. So I is given by mk square. M mass, k as radius of gyration. So next we are going to the term torsional stiffness. How will we define torsional stiffness? So simply telling, torsional stiffness is defined as the torque required to produce unit angular deflection, and it can be calculated by the torsional equation, and you already know this torsional equation, T by J equal to tau by R equal to G theta by L. That is the equation. So here T by J equal to C theta, G or C, anything, D by J equal to C theta by L. And here T is applied torque, J polar moment of inertia, that is 5 raised to 4 by 32 for a solid circular shaft, theta angle turned due to twisting torque in radian, L length of the shaft in meter, C modulus of rigidity of material. So now what is torsion stiffness? It is defined as torque required to produce unit angular deflection, that is T by theta. So from here T by theta equal to Cj by L. So this is called torsional stiffness. So next we are going to problem. A flywheel of mass 600 kg and radius of gyration 0.5 meter is mounted on a vertical shaft as shown in figure. The both ends of the shaft are fixed and its diameter is 45 mm. Find the natural frequency of torsional vibration if the modulus of rigidity of the shaft material is 84 giganewton per meter square. So when coming to the solution, this is the figure. So here it is given, in question it is given diameter 45 mm, that is 0.045 meter, mass 600 kg. Then what is given next? Radius of gyration 0.5 meter, G is given 84 giganewton per meter square, that is 84 into 10 raised to 9 Newton per meter square. So when coming to polar moment of inertia, that is pi raised to 4 by 32, d is we know. So next we are finding torsional stiffness, that is Q equal to Cj by L. Clear? Cj by L. And L, what is L here? Shaft for length L1. Here there are two lengths for the shaft, L1 and L2. It is given figure L1 and L2. So first when we are finding Cj by L1, so C we know, C or G, J we found out, L1 0.9. So Q1 we are getting. Then moving to for length L2 instead of L1, L2. That's all. So total shortness of the shaft will be sum of these two, Q1 plus Q2. Then mass moment of inertia of flywheel is mk square. M we know 600, k we found, not found, given 0.5. So it is getting I. The natural frequency of torsional vibration Fn equal to 1 by 2 by the root of q by I. It is getting 3.983 hertz. So natural frequency of torsional vibration Fn is equal to 3.983 hertz. So here one more thing we are adding, effect of inertia or mass of the shaft on torsional vibration. Here we have not considered the mass of the shaft in the previous problem. Means if you are considering in addition to the mass of the disc, if you in addition to mass of the disc, if you are considering mass of the shaft, then if ms mass of the shaft, then k is radius of gyration, then mass moment of inertia of shaft is ms k square. So final equation for frequency will be 1 by 2 pi into root of k q by 1 by 2 pi into root of q by I plus is by 3. Is means moment of mass moment of inertia of shaft. Similarly, next one, damped free torsional vibration. Here we have considered undamped system. So here I am considering a damped system. Means torsional vibration of a viscously damped disc at one end of circular shaft whose other end is fixed to a rigid support as shown figure. Here you can see there is a viscous fluid addition here. In the previous case there is no medium, it was in air. Here there was a viscous fluid considered. So here this is not that much important, this is just only an equation. Here what is happening is that in addition to the normal equation, a term Ct into theta will be coming. Means Ct means damping coefficient, means damping is given here, so damping coefficient will be given. So finally we are getting theta t, this equation, then omega n is equal to 2 into root of k1 into j, omega d equal to omega into root of 1 minus theta whole square. This is not that much important, just only check the equation. Then next topic we are moving to free torsional vibration of a single rotor system. Here we have to discuss four cases: single, 2, 3 rotor, then geared system. These are the terms we have to discuss here. So first we are considering single rotor system. So what is single rotor system? It is very simple. When the rotor is rotating at one end of the shaft, clear, here you can see a rotor at the end B and the other end is fixed. So then the shaft is subjected to torsion vibration and the shaft is subjected to vibration. This is called single rotor system. Means only at one end of the shaft a rotor is attached. This is called single rotor system. And here you can see the point A is fixed. So the vibration at that end will be 0 and at B it will be maximum. So the point A is known as node. Node means point at which 0 vibration occurs. Okay, so the node is situated in a shaft where amplitude of vibration is 0. That is, the node will not be affected by the vibration effect. Clear? Means that at that point vibration will be 0. So next we are moving to natural frequency of single rotor system. If we are checking the same equation, 1 by 2 pi into root of q by I, and instead of q we are substituting cj by L. So 1 by 2 pi into root of cj by I into L. So this is case of single rotor system. And if you are moving to two rotor system, you can see here instead of one rotor there are two rotor here. Means both the side of shaft attached two rotors. Means, and if the two rotors are rotating in opposite direction, means here the most important point is that one, it is the two rotors must rotate in opposite direction with respect to each other. So this is called two rotor system. And here you can see that the shaft is fixed. Here the point at which shaft is fixed, and here it is assumed that at a point N, you can see 3 points here: P left end, N middle end, Q right end. It is assumed that at the N the shaft is fixed. It is assumed that at the N shaft is fixed. So at that point vibration will be 0. Clear? So if we are assuming that point is fixed, then we can say the system has two separate shafts, that is NP and NQ, each fixed at node N. Means N is the fixed point here. And here it is given the above figure. At A and B it is carrying rotor. So in this system the two rotors must have same frequency. That is, if you are checking these two rotors, the conditions to satisfy for a system to be two rotor system is that the frequency of the both must be equal. That is, Fna must be equal to Fnb. So if you are taking different terms here, length of shaft, Ia length of part Np, Lb length of part Nq, and Ia mass moment of inertia of rotor A. One more, L total length of shaft, La length of part Np. Np means the distance of node from rotor A. Clear? And Lb means length of part Nq, that is distance of node from rotor B. And Ia mass moment of inertia of rotor A. And Ib mass moment of inertia of rotor B. D diameter of shaft. J polar moment of inertia of shaft. C modulus of rigidity for shaft material. So C means modulus of rigidity for shaft material. So natural frequency of torsional vibration for rotor A is given as Fn equal to 1 by 2 pi into root of Cj by L into I. Here we are substituting LAIA because it is A. Similarly, B 1 by 2 by into root of Cj by LBIB. So here it is given for a two rotor system, both the frequency must be equal. So in order to be a two rotor system both to be equal, So 1 by 2 pi into root of Cj by LAIA equal to 1 by 2 pi into root of Cj by LBIB. And if you are comparing this equation, you will get different result here. 1 by 2 by 1 by 2 by cancel, Cj cancel. So LAIA equal to LBIB, or LA equal to LBIB by IA, and L equal to LA plus LB. The total length will be equal to LA plus LB. These are the different equations you have to remember, and you have to use this equation in some problems. So when coming to torsionally equivalent shaft, and the topic remain here, one is torsionally equivalent shaft, the next is free torsion vibration of 3 rotor system. So these are the theory part remaining here in this section. So the next theory topics remaining are torsional equivalent shaft, free torsional vibration of 3 rotor system, then geared system. These are the theory topics remaining in this module. So next we are going to a problem. Those theory problem will be discussed in the next video. So next we are going to a problem. A steel shaft 1.5 meter long is 100 mm in diameter for the first 0.6 meter of its length, 75 mm in diameter for 0.5 meter of its length, and 50 mm diameter for the remaining 0.4 meter of its length. The shaft carries 2 flywheel at 2 ends. So it is a 2 rotor system. The first mass having 800 kg and 0.85 meter radius of gyration located at 100 mm diameter end, and the second having a mass of 600 kg and 0.55 meter radius of gyration located at the other end. Determine the location of node and natural frequency of free torsion vibration system. The modulus of rigidity of the shaft material given as 80 giganewton per meter square. So when going to the problem, you can see these are the different terms mentioned in the figure. So before that, we will discuss different terms. The total length of shaft is marked as 1.5 meter. D1 means 0.1 meter in diameter. That is, it is given question 100 mm in diameter for the first 0.6 meter of the length. So D1 0.1 meter, L1 0.6 meter. Then it is given in question 75 mm diameter for the 0.5 meter of the length. That is D2 75, L2 0.5. Then it is given 50 mm for the remaining 0.4. So D3 50, L3 0.04 meter. And similarly, it is given MA, that is the shaft carries 2 flywheels at 2 ends. The first mass having mass 800 kg. So MA 800. Second mass is given 600. So MB. And K is given, KB is given, G is given. So here first what we have to do is, first we have to, we are what we are doing in for this kind of problem, what we are doing is, we are assuming, diameter of equivalent shaft. Equivalent shaft means resultant shaft, means mean and diameter. Diameter of equivalent shaft means mean diameter. That is assumed as D1, that is 0.1 meter. So once we get D1 0.1 meter, then length of equivalent shaft. Then length of equivalent shaft is given by L is equal to L1 plus L2 into D1 by D2 raised to 4 plus L3 into D1 by D3 raised to 4. This is standard equation. Means what we are doing here, the length of equivalent shaft, the theory of this will be discussed in the next video. So here total length of the equivalent shaft is given by L is equal to L1 plus L2 into D1 by D2 raised to 4 plus L3 into D1 by D3 raised to 4. Okay, now you can see the ratio here L1, L2, L3. Similarly, 3 diameters are here. So first term there is no length, second term D1 by D2. Because first term there is no term. Why it is no term means, here it is given D1 by D1. Means equivalent diameter of shaft is D1 assumed. So D1 by D1. So 1. So there is no term. Second D1 by D2. And third D1 by D3. We are comparing the other different diameters by the first diameter D1. So L1, what is the value? 0.6. plus L2 we know, D1 we know, D2, L3, D1, D3. So we are getting total length is 8.58 meter. That is LA plus LB. So next what we are doing is we are locating the node. So that the node of the equivalent shaft lies at the N. You can see the figure here. Here we are assuming the node at the N. It is at a particular distance LA and LB. Okay. So the different distances marked here in the first figure, different diameters of shaft, different length of the shaft. Okay, and equal length also marked in the second figure. You can see for the different diameters it is given an equivalent diameter. Here it is given equivalent diameter, we are assuming 0.1 meter. In the second figure it is marked as 100 meter, and length we have find out 8.58 meter, it is marked here. And at a particular distance N we are assuming vibration is 0. So what we are asking is, what we have to find out here is determine the location of the node. We have to find at what distance N is lying. Second, what is the natural frequency of the system? These are the terms we have to find. So once we note MA and K, IA equal to MA K square, IB equal to MB KB square. So next this equation we know for a two rotor system, LA IA equal to LB IB. So LA equal to LB IB by IA. IA we know. So next we are moving to this final equation, that is LA equal to, you can see here LA equal to IB we found out from this thing, IB equal to MB KB square. So IB we know, LB we don't know, and here in the denominator IA, that also we know. From that we are getting LA equal to 0.31 for LB. So LA plus LB is equal to total length we know here 8.58. Okay, means total length means total length of the shaft. Means if I first we have find out the equivalent length of the shaft. Here we have find out equivalent length, that is LA plus LB. So once we get LA in some terms of LB, then we are substituting in that equation, we are getting LB is equal to 6.53. Once we get LB, then LA equal to 8.58 minus 6.53, which is 2.05. So we can say here the node lies at 2.05 meter from A or 6.53 meter from B on the equivalent shaft. So next what we are doing is we are finding the position of the node on the original shaft from flywheel A. What we are doing next is we are finding the position of node on the original shaft. Original shaft means here for simplicity we are assuming an equivalent diameter of shaft. We are assuming the shaft diameter 100 mm for solving this problem, but in the actual case it is not 100 mm. It is different in different sections of the shaft. So next we are finding the actual position of the node on the original shaft. For that we are using this one, L1 plus LA minus L1. Means here you can find from either end A or B, but here we have considered equivalent length or equivalent diameter from the shaft A. Here we are considering equivalent diameter for shaft A, means at the left hand. So we are using this one, L1 plus LA minus L1. Here how many diameters here? D2 by D1, means D2 by D1. D2 means here D2 means 0.075. But from where we are getting D2? Here you can see D2 0.075, then D1 0.1. Why here taking like this is, here where we have assumed the equivalent diameter, we have assumed the equivalent diameter as 100 mm. So we have to consider that shaft as the reference. We have to take that shaft as the reference, and we have to use this equation. So L1 we know 0.6, LA we find out now 2.05, D2 means this. Why we are taking D2 means the shaft which is attached to the assumed shaft. Which is the assumed shaft here? D1. So the shaft which is attached to the assumed shaft means D2. So that is why we are taking D2. So Once we are finding 1.058 meter. This is the position of node on the original shaft. So next we are finding the natural frequency. That is very simple. First one J pi d1 raised to 4 by 32. Then for a two rotor system Fn, and which is equal to Fna or Fnb. So 1 by 2 pi into root of Cj by La or Ia. So Fn is getting 4.09 hertz. So this much up to today's video. In the next video we will discuss the remaining theory topics and remaining problem. Okay, thank you.